There are some amazing storylines in Series 2 of Westworld. Maeve visits Shogun World and encounters a strange mirror of her own little squad. She sees an alternate version of herself and is left with all sorts of questions regarding what to do with her newly found free will. Bernard's story lets us see the fall of the park through his memories. We get a fairly neutral perspective on the rise of AIs as he has a stake in both AI liberation and being human. Will he be able to maintain his cover as a human? Will he establish a new reason to exist now he knows the truth about himself? Delores rides about on horses and massacres humans. Oh, Elsie is alive! She discovers that Bernard is a host and is suddenly torn. She feels betrayed. She's known this man for years and then he attacked her. Can she ever trust him again? How much of this man she knew was pre-programmed, and how much is the man who stands before her now? And all of that's before we get into the questions of where her loyalties are going to fall between self-preservation and exposing Delores' shady dealings. Charlotte is desperate to get a cipher out of the park. She's a two-faced corporate type, but her stories are elevated by the characters she spends time with. Will Bernard be able to maintain his cover around her? Checking back in with Delores, she is still running around massacring humans. But never mind that, wait till you see what's happening with Billy's backstory. You see, James Delores was looking for a way to download his mind into a host. It keeps failing, and so much of William's character is revealed as we watch him torture this man over decades. Then his daughter shows up, and suddenly the way his character is framed shifts. He's no longer effortlessly in charge, he's a stumbling child in front of his daughter. His cowardice is raw and undisguisable. His betrayal of her shows how far he's fallen into the fantasy of this world. Oh, and amazingly, Felix, the scummy British writer, is actually getting an interesting arc this series. He stayed with Maeve throughout, and has been learning about her and her quest to reunite with her daughter. Will he finally find something he cares about more than his own skin, and will he risk his life for an AI? Checking back in with Delores, her team is still just running around massacring people. I can't argue that nothing happens during Delores' story arc. There's some very slightly interesting stuff happening between her and Teddy, and the stuff with her dad, well, it's not good, but it at least has some narrative to it. The thing is, it can't disguise the fact that 90% of her scenes go down like this. Delores rides into town. She makes a speech that's designed to hint at a wider story or plan, but contains no details on what she's actually trying to do. Her team kills a bunch of humans or hosts for poorly defined reasons. She moves on. Repeat. What is happening with Delores amounts to a subplot. There's not enough actual development happening to make it anything else. The problem is, this subplot is regularly given 2/3 of an episode to play out, whilst far more interesting stories are forced to occupy fragments of time left over from Delores killing people. There's no depth or development, there's no story progression, it's just murder, 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 murder. This isn't helped by the fact that Westworld the show has done a terrible job of communicating the geography of Westworld the park. For the longest time I never had any idea where Delores was actually going, or if she even had a plan at all. It seems like she was just wandering randomly. I'm fairly confident that Westworld will pull a few interesting things for Delores to do in its final episodes, but I can't forgive the sheer amount of time the series has spent on slow-motion footage of Delores and her team killing people. What developments do occur are quickly brushed off. She got shot twice in one episode. Does anything happen as a result? Are the hosts at risk of infection? Is she going to suffer pain from her wounds? No, nothing happens. She's wearing plot armour. Her wounds are immediately forgotten about. Delores' storyline is so monotonous and the show spends so much time on it, I honestly don't know what the writers were thinking.